to go faster.
From 0 to 100 miles an hour in 60 feet, that's exciting.
A&E presents the drivers, the technologies, the dangers.
Get out of control.
The power and the glory. Wednesday on A&E.
This is CNN.
President Bush pledges more money for the hurricane victims in Florida and Louisiana. Will it quiet the criticism? They have no homes, but they do have a school. Can homeless children be taught a sense of belonging? Doctors in Minnesota separate two babies who were born joined at the abdomen. What's the prognosis?
From CNN, this is The World Today with Catherine Crier at the CNN Center.
Thanks for joining us. Frank Sesno is off today. We begin with President Bush and his efforts to convince the victims of Hurricane Andrew that he cares about their plight. The president traveled to Florida and Louisiana today, promising to open the federal coffers and help the people there rebuild. CNN's Brian Cabell reports.
It was the president's second visit to South Florida in 8 days, this time with the First Lady and Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney. It came amid continuing criticism that the administration reacted too slowly in the wake of Hurricane Andrew. This time, he brought welcome news to the devastated area.
Today, I'm announcing that we are committed to rebuilding Homestead Air Force Base.
All right. Homestead Air Force Base was all but leveled by the hurricane. The president also promised the maximum allowable federal reimbursement for debris removal, temporary housing, and disaster unemployment assistance. He made a point of speaking not only with officials, but also with the people whose lives were disrupted by the hurricane. At one point, he shared a cup of water with a little boy. Any questions about politics, he dismissed.
I've tried to keep it out of the political arena, and I have no comment whatsoever, except simply to say we're here to help, and I really mean that.
No mention was made of Democratic presidential candidate Bill Clinton's announced visit to South Florida later this week. The problem for the president is that it's sometimes hard to distinguish between political posturing and showing true leadership in a crisis. And amid those whom the president visited Tuesday, there was skepticism.
His visit isn't going to change anything.
Was this just political, do you
I think so.
I really wonder why he had to wait to be asked to send help down here.
I am strictly against him, and I am a Republican. I think he's phony from the word go.
Whatever his motivation, the president did seem genuinely moved by the plight of Andrew's victims at times. He also toured one of the tent cities now being erected for homeless residents and met with some of the almost 20,000 troops now stationed here.
Everybody is really singing your praises, what you all are doing, and we're very grateful to you.
The damage estimate here remains at $30 billion. In Louisiana, the comparable figure from Hurricane Andrew destruction has risen to $400 million. The president and the First Lady also stopped here on Tuesday and promised that whatever it takes, the damage will be repaired in both states. Brian Cabell, CNN, Homestead, Florida.
President Bush will talk about the hurricane relief efforts tonight during an address from the Oval Office. That's scheduled for 9 p.m. Eastern. CNN will have live coverage. Slowly but surely, baseball fields, schoolyards, and parks in South Florida are being transformed into tent cities. By sometime tomorrow, officials say families with nowhere to go will have a place where at least they can sleep, they cook a meal, or scrub off. CNN's John Holloman is in Homestead, Florida, with an update. John?
Catherine, this tent city is getting more and more organized. For the first time since the tents got here, they now have numbers. What they don't have is many people to sleep in them. I'm talking with one man who's been left homeless by the storm, John Maurer. John, you're from Florida City, one of the places that was just about wiped off the map by this storm. Tell me your story. Tell me what's going on with you tonight.
Well, I have, as I said, I have my 86-year-old aunt, and right now I'm just trying to find a place to live.
Yeah, well, have you checked for rentals in the area?
There aren't any. They're just, what there is shambles. There's no roofs on some of the places. They can't guarantee that it's going to be safe in some of the places. And we're the last of we have no relatives, my aunt and I, so we're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, well, your aunt is now in this, in the middle school, in the elder care section of the middle school.
They're taking excellent care of her in there. But I don't know in this tent city, I can't see this.
It's a place for somebody in their mid-80s.
Right. Myself, I could do it, but I don't see how she's going to handle it.
What does the future look like for you?
Well, Right now, I can't tell. As I said before, none of us over there seem to know what's going on. But hopefully, someday, they're going to tell us.
Yeah. What's up? Is it a very nerve-wracking situation to be in?
I talked with a psychiatrist just by accident yesterday, and he was asking, how I was doing, and he said something about when he finished talking, he says, well, I'll tell you this, at your age and your time in life and everything, to be confused is normal.
Well, I think everybody here is confused. John, how old are you?
I'm 63.
Yeah.
My aunt is 86.
Right.
So that's my problem, is to find something for her and find a place to live, and then just get restarted.
Yeah, well, as you and I were talking about, we were listening to Brian Cabell explain that the president was here all day, and you said to me, I think it's nice that they come, but you hope they'll do something.
Right. They seem to be doing something. If just somebody coordinates down here so that we all know what's going to happen so we can begin to plan our lives. I had heard the Air Force Base was going to close. Now I heard it's not going to be closed. That's going to make a difference in the economy down here.
What's your biggest worry right now?
How to take care of my aunt. I'll be real honest.
Yeah. All right. John Maurer, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you in your situation. CNN is getting an opportunity to talk to the president, to talk to other officials as they come through here. The wife of the vice president, Marilyn Quayle, has undertaken as her major project as a wife of a senior government official, disaster relief. She is going to be here tomorrow. We are told that she will be standing in the spot where John Maurer was tonight, talking to us live on CNN at about this time tomorrow night, and we'll look forward to hearing her view on this, and perhaps the wife of the vice president will have some more positive news and information for the people who are here. We also, by the way, expect to be visited in the next few minutes by the Secretary of Transportation, Andy Card, who is the president's point man here in Florida. He's been on a tour with the president all day today, and we'll have an update on what he has seen and what he plans to do about it. John Holloman, CNN Live in Homestead, Florida.
Yeah, John, we'll be back with you in just a little bit. And while President Bush's decision to rebuild Homestead Air Force Base is applauded in Florida, it surprised many at the Pentagon. Is it an example of using defense spending as a political tool? Our military affairs correspondent, Wolf Blitzer, takes a look.
Even before the Air Force has assessed how many hundreds of millions of dollars it will cost, President Bush says he's committed to rebuilding Florida's Homestead Air Force Base, destroyed by Hurricane Andrew.
Homestead is very important to our military. It helps combat the cocaine trade, it provides air defense, and it will be rebuilt.
Only the day before, many Pentagon officials had assumed that what the Mount Pinatubo volcano did to Clark Air Base in the Philippines last year, Andrew would do to Homestead, namely shut it down.
The short answer is that Florida has a lot of electoral votes and the Philippines does not. The president's announcement that he's going to rebuild Homestead Air Force Base is yet another example of how the military budget is used as a political football.
Homestead was almost on last year's base closure hit list, and given the shrinking defense budget, it was widely considered a candidate next year. The Air Force has alternatives, including Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina and Moody Air Force Base in Georgia. Publicly, the Pentagon says the decision was made on its merits.
Whatever year it was in, I mean, it's very important, and it's very clear that we are supporting the people of Florida and the people of these communities in their effort to recover.
Earlier, Bill Clinton showed that he, too, was not averse to supporting expensive military projects that involve jobs. He had endorsed a second Seawolf submarine, even though the Pentagon said there was no longer need for it. And he's not ready to second-guess Bush's Florida decision.
I think it should be done if it's in the national security interest to do it. I think what we need to do is look at the facts. You know, I can't make a comment on it because I don't know what the facts are.
Politics can also help to explain why the Pentagon has recently reversed itself on other major spending programs, including the V-22 Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft and the M1A2 battle tank. Both projects were earlier described as a waste of money, but the Osprey will be built in Texas and Pennsylvania, and the M1 in Michigan and Ohio. And Mr. Bush is also expected to announce on Wednesday that he supports a large F-16 sale to Taiwan that will mean more jobs in Texas. Wolf Blitzer, CNN, the Pentagon.
Well, help for the Hurricane Andrew's victims is still desperately needed. If you want to help, get a pencil ready. The American Red Cross is seeking donations for its disaster relief fund at P.O. Box 37243, Washington, D.C. 20013. That phone number is 1-800-842-2200. or offer your help to the state of Florida by calling 1-800-FL-HELP-1. And ahead on The World Today, a new poll widens the Clinton lead. We'll have an update on Campaign 92, and we'll tell you why rainbow days at a Dallas school offer new hope for homeless children.
Americans are witnessing one of the most explosive years in memory. And the issues that divide our nation hold the key to what is being called the most important election of our time. Introducing Campaign 92, Inside the Issues. This exclusive video is free when you order Time magazine today. Get Time's unique perspective on the issues that matter to you most. Can we trust what the candidates say?
Read my lips.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale and never tried it again.
There's some freedom of choice that exists under the law today.
I support the right to life.
Order Time now at a savings of almost 60% off the cover price and get Campaign 92 free. Understand why George Bush is sticking with Dan Quayle.
He did not go to Canada. He did not burn his draft card. And he damn sure didn't burn the American flag.
And why Bill Clinton chose Al Gore.
In November, George Bush and Dan Quayle will be history.
For unparalleled weekly analysis of Campaign 92, turn to Time. Call now and get 25 issues for 3 monthly installments of only $9.89. Get a better understanding of what the candidates are all about. See where they've come from. Who's inspired them? Relive their brightest moments and their darkest hours.
I was Bill Clinton's lover for 12 years.
I have said all I have to say, and I'm not going to say anything.
And let Time's political experts show you what really to expect from a Clinton presidency or a Bush re-election. You won't want to vote without seeing Campaign 92. So call and order now and get the video free.
Bill Clinton's lead grows wider in the latest presidential poll. The ABC Washington Post survey shows Clinton with 56% of registered voters' support, Bush with 36%. Clinton's lead is much bigger than the one he had in a recent CNN Time magazine poll. That survey included leaners as well as registered voters. On the campaign trail, Clinton took a swing through the South today, telling senior citizens in Macon, Georgia, the Bush promise to balance the federal budget with unspecified tax and spending cuts is just more trickle-down economics that will simply drive up the cost of medical care for the elderly.
Now he's going after Medicare the same way he's gone after middle-class taxpayers. Most of our 30 million Medicare beneficiaries come from middle-class families, and George Bush's budget makes the average Medicare beneficiary pay $2,000 more over the next 5 years for the same health care. His budget helps the average millionaire pay $100,000 less in taxes, but makes the average Medicare beneficiary earning under $20,000 a year pay $400 or more for health care.
And from the Bush camp, a spokesman responds that Clinton is a fearmonger and that Bush budget plans would ensure that Medicare benefits keep pace with inflation. Meantime, more Southern strategy from the Bush-Quayle campaign. Vice President Quayle began a bus tour of Georgia today, courting votes in small Southern towns with speeches meant to boost his boss and bash Clinton. Quayle told one group today Clinton's economic plan would cost 1 million or more jobs nationwide. A teacher strike has emptied Detroit's public school system on the first day of school. 168,000 students got an extra day off. Detroit School Board and a union representing 10,000 teachers reportedly are far apart on pay increases. But the school district today asked a judge to order the teachers back to work while negotiations continue. Well, for homeless children, a day at school represents a triumph over problems most of the kids don't have to face. In Dallas, the public schools and an organization called Rainbow Days have teamed up to give homeless kids an extra chance to succeed. CNN's Mike Capps.
Sunshine and cloud, all right, yeah.
An after-school support group at Dallas City Park Elementary, a support group for homeless children.
And my sunshine is that I did all my homework.
The children find emotional support here. counseling, and friendship.
It is absolutely essential that they feel like there's someplace that they belong, that they feel good about themselves.
Rainbow Days Incorporated began as a prevention agency for children of alcoholics or substance abuse. Now, with a combination of state and federal funds, it helps homeless school children find hope.
I think that's absolutely essential, is that we're not just teaching shelter survival skills, but life skills for kids who may not have learned that any other way.
This is pretense. Where are we?
The Dallas School District extends its school day at City Park Elementary, also to help homeless children.
Wisconsin. Whatever.
Educators find difficulty working with homeless children. The reason, they say, is because the children's lives are so transient. But here, in this program, they find stability and a sense of belonging.
They have some teachers here that have 2 teachers that spend extra time here helping us out with our homework. And if we have any trouble, we just go to them.
You get to have tutoring, you get to go outside, you get to have snacks, you get to have PE off in here.
Organizers praise the children's participation and their educational success.
They look forward to coming, and we have talked to teachers and gotten some feedback that they are doing better in their studies when they've been here for a while.
Did we see an old apple on Friday?
Jean Andrews teaches a combination of homeless and children with homes at City Park Elementary. No one, she says, makes fun of the homeless.
Alex says he hears 2 P's in apple.
But Andrews worries about the transience of the homeless community and how it affects the children's learning.
Then the success is on a daily basis. And if they have 14 days in a row that are successful, then I feel like that we really have impacted that child's life.
Rainbow Days Incorporated officials say this is a model program. They'd like to see it adopted in other major cities so other homeless children can receive the same benefits. Mike Capps, CNN, Dallas.
Well, what nature wipes out, it can also give back. Florida's Everglades were nailed by Andrews' full force, but experts say nature will take care of its own.
AT&T.
They don't always get along.
Don't listen to this man. He's certifiable.
They don't always get the girl.
We're not getting back together.
They don't always get respect.
That's not easy what I just did.
But in a game of high-tech tag, holy cow, they're it.
Can you guarantee my safety?
Do you have the item? Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, Mary McDonnell, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier, Sneakers, rated PG-13. September 9th in select areas and September 11th everywhere.
You've just poured the milk on your bowl of Kellogg's Crispix when something keeps you from it. Good thing Crispix has a special shape that stands up to milk. So even if you can't get to it right away, Crispix still stays crispy and great tasting.
They're still crispy.
Kellogg's Crispix, the taste that waits for you.
Salary, $31,000. That is your present salary. Have you ever declared bankruptcy, Mr. Hyde?
Bill? Hempel. Hempel. I want to fix up my bathroom.
Bathroom? I thought it was a car loan. Mr. Hempel. I thought it was Hazer. Hazer. It is Hazer.
I'm Hempel.
It is a car loan. You want to have your bathroom fixed, too? He wants to have his bathroom fixed, Mr. Hempel.
Avoid the confusion. Finance your new car with GMAC right at your GM dealership. Nobody knows more about auto financing and leasing.
With an Olympic gold medal under her belt, one of the youngest women in tennis, also one of the hottest. Well, Tom Steiner's here with details on the U.S. Open. Tom?
Catherine, thank you. The new and improved Jennifer Capriati stayed on her summertime roll, but it wasn't easy. 2 days after winning a U.S. Open hardcourt prep in San Diego, the Olympic gold medal winner was in New York today for her first round U.S. Open match. She fell behind early, but regained her form in time to avoid the upset to Holland's Nicole Munz-Jagerman, who blew a 5-1 first set lead. Capriati far side showing tremendous court coverage. Coolly efficient before tracking it down, and then she would finally put it away on a cross-court winner coming up right there. On her way to a 7-6, 6-2 win, the 6th seed will be in action again tomorrow night. On the men's side, 1990 U.S. champion Pete Sampras won in straight sets, serving bottom of the screen. And the 3rd seed exhibits his trademark power game. David DeLucia guesses wrong. Sampras makes him pay with the scorcher. 6-3, 7-5, 6-2 the scores. And we save the best shot for last. Forrest Becker and Kevin Curran, who charges the net and calmly gets the behind-the-back winner. He made it look so easy. But the big German serving too much, closing out the match with an ace. Becker lost the 2nd set, but charged back to reach the 2nd round. Gabriela Sabatini also won today on the ladies' side. Later, a pair of 4-time champions play under the lights. 30-something legends John McEnroe and Martina Navratilova in action tonight at the National Tennis Center. More follow-up on last night's huge baseball trade involving Jose Canseco, plus U.S. Open highlights and all the baseball on Sports Tonight at 11 Eastern Time. Catherine?
Thanks, Tom. If you think a crane is a crane is a crane, well, get a load of this. Government researchers have developed a new kind of crane that can be used for everything from cleaning up nuclear waste to digging on the moon. Eugenia Halsey has the story.
Sparks are flying at the National Institute of Standards and Technology outside Washington, where a new crane is promising to do some heavy lifting. The crane, operated by remote control, can lift objects 5 times its own weight and maneuver loads precisely. 6 cables hold the crane's triangular platform in place, even at an angle.
Those 6 cables are arranged so as to make sure that the load is constrained so that it doesn't sway and it doesn't rotate.
In contrast, says the robot crane's creator, James Albus, conventional cranes are suspended only from vertical cables, meaning operators can control only up and down.
The load itself will swing, and typically then you need a crew of men on the ground to grab a hold of the load and position it where you want it.
Researchers describe this robot crane as a jack of many trades and say it could lead to a new class of all-purpose machines. Applications might include precision machining, construction, deep-sea drilling, cleaning up nuclear and toxic waste sites, even exploring the moon or Mars.
The fact that this is a very lightweight structure, able to lift many times its own weight, makes it an ideal thing for doing construction on planets where carrying the construction equipment to the planet is a very expensive operation.
Albus started designing the robot crane in the 1980s in response to the Defense Department's need to stabilize crane loads. He seized on the concept of a mechanical platform used for flight simulation, but turned the platform upside down, manipulating it from above rather than below. Albus had hoped the crane might be used to fight Kuwaiti oil well fires. The crane would have been carried like this through the desert by 3 vehicles, then positioned over the oil wells. The lower work platform contained a chimney, fire shield, and excavator. But ultimately, firefighters opted to use conventional methods. Still, the government envisions many other uses for the crane, such as helping build temporary army housing in hostile environments like the desert or jungle. In the future, researchers expect the robot crane to carry its own weight and then some. Eugenia Halsey for CNN, Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Science and Technology is brought to you by AT&T, the right choice.
In our universe, there was always the unknown, the unpredictable. All we can do is prepare for it.